You should do photography for free. Or should you? Let's get into it, guys. This is boy Kyron John here, six-figure food photographer, and I want to do a reaction video to my guy Peter Mckinnon talking about you should work for free. And the answer is, should you or should you not? Let's jump into this video and let's talk about it. If you're a beginner photographer, you've probably heard this before. And if you're an intermediate photographer, you've heard this before. If you're a professional photographer, you've heard this before. As one of the ways in order to become a great photographer, not even just a great photographer, but in order to start getting clients, one of the things that you hear a lot is that you should work for free. Now, as you go on more and more with your career, it gets hard to get into that space to work for free. The more clients that you've dealt with, the more money that you've made, you kind of find it hard to find the space and the time to work for free, right? And that comes down to valuing your time. You get to a space where you start to be able to know your worth. Obviously, a lot of us have Dunning-Kruger syndrome in the beginning, where you think that you're better than you actually are, and you think that you're above working for free. There's like two states of mind when it comes down to working for free. It's one, is there ever gonna be a return on investment for me working for free from working with potential clients? Like, are they gonna see the fact that I did work for free and then just never wanna pay me? And two, more so is like, do I have the time to work for free? And is the shoot that I'm gonna do for free, am I gonna enjoy it? Is it gonna be worth my while? Well, it really just depends. I mean, in the beginning, most people, when they get a camera and they're trying to get into photography, most of the shoots are going to be for free. Why? Because you don't even have enough of a skill set to be able to charge anybody for anything. Sometimes you don't even know what genre of photography that you're even trying to get into. So it makes it hard to kind of just be like, oh yeah, I want to get paid for all these different shoots. I remember I had somebody, I'm not doing any of these like product or like food stuff until someone pays me $2,000 to shoot it. I told him, I'm like, bro, that's like the dumbest thing ever. That's not even realistic. Nobody's going to pay you any amount of money and you have zero knowledge on that thing, right? And so I think it comes down to a state of mind in terms of working for doing shoots for free when it comes down to for yourself, because you're doing projects, versus doing shoots for somebody else and not really wanting to do it because you feel like they don't really value your time and they might run you into the ground and basically take advantage of you. Again, I think it's really just a matter of your mindset. If you do certain shoots for free, I've done shoots for free and it has benefited me in the future, where it's just like you build a portfolio, right? Part of the thing of shooting for free, you build a portfolio. You have friends, you want to shoot portraits, so you're gonna take as many pictures of your friends as possible. You might offer free photo shoots. You might have people ask you to do shoots and it may be for free. And the benefits of that is you end up getting to build a portfolio, and obviously that has a long-term impact on you actually getting clients. Like, all those free shoots that you did in the beginning, if you learn to actually capitalize on it, it gets you to the place where you could charge for shoots, right? But what if you end up being a person who just keeps doing free shoots and people take advantage of that, and then you end up getting burnt out? It makes you feel like you don't really want to do it anymore. I guess it really just depends on you. It's really up to your mindset. But let's just hop into the video real quick. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I just want to like play an excerpt of what he's talking about in regards to that and why he shoots for free, and kind of just react to that. This guy, man, this guy's really the reason I got into photography.
What's up, everybody? Peter Mckinnon here. Welcome back to yet another video, and today we're talking about why I think you should work for free at times. Not all the time, but there's definitely a conversation to be had here, and I feel like over the years, it's all over the place. Different people have different schools of thought. Obviously, I agree with some on both sides, but I have some interesting insight and some recent developments that have happened to me since I shot Kiefer Sutherland's portrait that I wanted to share, and I wanted to share how I'm gonna go about those and how I'm gonna handle this situation moving forward. This is going to be the star of the show today. This is not sponsored by Red Bank. I've never even had this. Never even heard of this brand before. Apparently, Kiefer Sutherland has his own whiskey. What celebrity doesn't have an alcohol these days? Shocker. Anyways,
I feel like mad celebrities have their own liquor.
Thank you for taking those pictures. So this is special, and I figured I would share it with some special people. But I wanted to go a step ahead. I do love product photography. I love hanging with the boys, and I love some whiskey. Follow me.
See, he just made an interesting point. When I first started photography, it was dope to be able to do certain things with people that you liked being around, and that's kind of how I started building up my portfolio. My friend Chanel at the time, well, she's still doing it now, but she was starting a candle business. One of my friends, she was doing bartending. One of my other friends, he was into photography, and they just used to come to the house. They used to bring their candles and all this different stuff, and we would just sit down and we would shoot, play around. Obviously, the dope thing was it gave my friend Chanel at that time, it gave her content for her to be able to like utilize those images for her website. And we did it for free. One, because obviously we enjoyed hanging out with each other all the time, but it also just made it easier to basically get in the space of getting creative with people that you enjoyed being around.
What's your thoughts on working for free?
There's nothing wrong with working for free. I lived my freelance career off of the 3 Bs. For everything that I did, it either builds a bridge, a book, or my bank account. I think a lot of people get really offended with this question because everyone assumes that your time is worth something. And I agree with that. I think your time is absolutely worth something.
Now, your time is definitely worth something. But to the first guy's point, there are certain things that you hold on to that when it comes down to shooting for free, and even shooting at discounted rates sometimes. I know I said in the video before that don't shoot at discounted rates. Don't give clients discounts at the beginning because they will take advantage of you. And this is definitely true. But there are definitely cases where in the beginning, if you happen to come across, especially a client that's a good client and they really value your work, that over time, there will be benefits for you shooting for some of these people at a lower rate or for free. Because sometimes, let's say, for example, right? Let me go back to my first early days of photography. When I first started photography, one of the first people that I worked with was a company called Caribou, right? One of my boys from high school, he worked for them. He was a CFO, and he was like, "Hey, we're looking for a photographer. Take these bags of coffee and shoot it and play around." Mind you, I literally was only, I think, 6 months into my photography career at that point in time. I literally was starting to really fall in love with food photography and product photography. So I'm like, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is they say no. It's really that simple, that they're just like, they didn't like the photos and they go find somebody else. But at that point in time, being in the space where I'm like, you know what, I'm really trying to get me a client. I'm really trying to like really prove that I can be a photographer and that I could like handle being a photographer for a actual company. And so I'm like, I took it, I went crazy. I played around, I did spilled coffee beans on the table, all these different stuff, tried to set up different looks. I mean, when I look back, if I show you guys now, it's damn near embarrassing. Like, those photos were trash. But the good thing was, it got me in there. They loved the photos somehow, some way, because they still use it to this day. But they loved the photos, and they ended up basically hiring me as their photographer. Now, granted, I was paying them chump change at that point in time, right? But in a sense, it kind of paid off, because the last year, one of the brothers of the owners, he also had his own business and he was doing marketing for different companies, and they basically hired me to be their photographer. And I was shooting for months, back to back. They just would send me products. I would shoot, they would pay me, shoot, they would pay me. And we made a good amount of money together doing that. And that came from me shooting for free. So now the thing is with shooting for free sometimes is that we think the return on investment is going to be immediate, and it's not always immediate. It takes years sometimes, but like the guy said, over time, it could build your bank account. These guys love your photography. And sometimes the key to working for free or working at discounted rates for folks is it comes down to building a relationship. You end up building a solid long-term relationship with these folks, and they end up valuing you. You're going to be the top of their list all the time when it comes down to photographers that they want to hire for certain projects, or when another friend who's starting a business needs a product photographer or a photographer to do headshots and all those different things. But because you did work for free in the beginning with these folks, they end up, not always, but some folks end up valuing you. They pass that off, and now you over here getting hundreds of bookings over the years based off relationships that you built. And that's why relationship building is definitely important, though that's a subject for another day.
But I think you have to establish yourself as a brand and a product in order for that to then be worth something.
Facts.
So I don't think you can just come out of the gate and
and get money for what you do. Like, no one's coming to your door, no one's coming to your studio and offering you gigs just because you decided you're a photographer.
Facts. This goes right back to what I was saying. One of my friends at one point in time had said they're not doing any type of photography or product photography until somebody basically sends them money to pay them to do that. And that's not necessarily how that works. You do have to you have to gain some skin in the game. And unfortunately, in the beginning, it's like the same thing when it comes down to anything. When you're in the gym, obviously you're starting off slow. You're building, you're getting skin in the game, and over time you get to the place where people kind of respect you for the fact that you went from being unfit to fit. Same thing when it comes down to photography or videography. I know plenty of people who think that, oh yeah, I can charge this much money, and they've only been doing photography or videography for this short amount of time, and they don't even necessarily have the portfolio to even show for it. Right? Most times people are not just going to go on your page and like, oh yeah, we're going to hire this guy, and you have nothing. They're not going to know what to look for. So a lot of the time you have to be mindful of the fact that in order for you to start to gain clients and gain business and things of that sort, that you have to get some skin in the game. And sometimes that means working for free, building portfolios, building relationships, doing a few sprinkles of free shoots for restaurants or for businesses, whatever, just to get your foot in the door so people will start to actually respect you as a business.
Just because you decided you're a photographer. I think you need to earn that. I think that comes with time, and I think that your skill grows with time. So, for example, I shot those photos of Kiefer Sutherland. I didn't get paid for that. It wasn't a paid photo shoot. It wasn't anything that he asked for. It was just kind of right time, right place. However, the next day, I received an email from his best friend who owns this company with Kiefer, Red Bank Whiskey. And he was like, can we use these photos? What would you charge? And my immediate response was nothing. I already got what I wanted. I got the portrait.
Hey, listen, man. There's two types of people in this world. There's the people who, even if you tell them that, hey, man, we would love to pay you for these photos, they're the people who are like, if you're like, nah, it's okay, you don't have to pay me for it, those folks either they take advantage of you next time down the line, or B, they appreciate that so much that, again, when the opportunity comes up for a bigger project down the line, again, you're the first person that they think of, and you end up getting a big check or a big cut out of certain things because of that. I guess that's a sense of humility and whatnot. Some people respect that, some people don't. But again, like I remember watching that video with Peter Mckinnons, and he definitely is like, it was a passion project that he wanted to do. And a lot of the time, those passion projects and those side projects that you do where you just play around and shoot in your house, in your studio, those are the things that end up getting you paid over time. Like, it was for free, you did it for yourself, but it became a part of your portfolio, and you were able to use it to get clients further down the line.
I got the portrait of Kiefer Sutherland. I am happy. By all means, it would make me even more happy for you to also benefit and have those photos for your brand. Your thoughts, working for free.
Full price or free? I don't negotiate. If I quote somebody and they say no, then that's it. But if it's a company that I really love and I want to see them grow, I did that for Weatherwell. I worked for free for them for 5 years because I just love the brand, love the product, love the company, love the people. And now they bought me all this.
Hey, that's a valid point, right? There's like two schools of thought, and I think you get deeper into this as you become a photographer. Like, negotiating with people is annoying. It's either like you're gonna pay full price for what I'm offering, like what I'm showing you and what we're offering for the services that we're gonna provide, or nothing at all. If it's a shoot that you feel like it's worth doing and you're passionate about it and you want to do it for free, then hey, by all means do it. But yeah, the go between is almost more annoying sometimes, where it's like, yo, I'd rather either just do it for free and not do it at all, or get just you pay full price. It's that simple.
They bought me all this.
But now, out here with Cody and Lane, I'm going to shoot some photos for Red Bank Whiskey. Did they ask me? No. They didn't ask me. Do they even know I'm doing this? No. They don't know I'm doing this. But what that's going to do for me is, like Lane said, build a bridge. He might use some of these photos. He might not. Worst case scenario, we have a great time. We hang out. We shoot some photos. That's what we do anyway when we're having fun, because we just love taking photos.
Hey, that's a big thing too. I know you'll probably hear this from most photographers who are online, who are on YouTube. One of the ways that you can get clients is by going into the store, picking up a product, and shooting it and pitching it to one of these companies. Even whether it's a startup, some people end up taking such fire photos and they send it to companies like Poppy and all those companies, and they end up getting hired to be a part of the creative team. And sometimes, again, it just comes down to the fact of you doing and building passion projects and side projects and personal projects that you did for free that will end up getting you clients. In the beginning, like I said, I used to go to Dunkin' Donuts. I used to buy donuts and just play around with shooting those things in different ways. And I used it for my portfolio, and those type of things ended up getting me clients in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, nowadays I feel like I haven't done as many side projects or passion projects and things of the sort, which I do need to do more of. But doing things like that can definitely get you more clients. You know, just you love a liquor, you shoot it, and you know, before you know it, the client's like, yeah, we need a photographer. We would love to have you part of the team, and boom, there you go. And that just came from you taking some dope photos of some dope liquor like Peter Mckinnons and them are doing. It works all the time.
But maybe something happens. Maybe it's on a billboard. Maybe it furthers my career a little bit. And if it doesn't, it still doesn't matter. So I'm a big fan of doing something for free in order to continue to work. I work now so that I can keep working later. In an idealist world,
yeah, that's valid. I feel like that's valid. That's a very valid statement. If you love photography, you're gonna shoot for free sometimes anyways. You're gonna shoot to create value, obviously, for your portfolio, because you're not getting any clients without having a portfolio. And sometimes that comes from shooting for free. And a lot of the time, what I notice is when you shoot for free sometimes, and I'm not necessarily even talking about for other people, but for yourself, where you're just going to the store, you're buying projects that you like and you're shooting, you end up getting some very dope material. It's not for nothing that, I mean, I learned this also from a producer standpoint, but a lot of the time when you're getting paid by a client sometimes to do certain creative work, not all the time, sometimes you kind of are stuck in a certain place, and it could end up becoming just a mindless loop of doing the same thing that you almost end up starting to hate it. You get burnt out. So it is good sometimes to do passion projects and do projects for free, where you have free reign to literally do whatever you want, because a lot of the time now a client will hire you for that type of look. And that's definitely what happened with me with the food photography style that I did last year. I would do a lot of that stuff just for kicks.
Idealist world, yes, you would be paid for your service, but sometimes you have to give a little to play the long game.
Facts.
You're not supposed to, devalue yourself by any means. No, of course not. However, I would not have the career that I have today without doing that. So it worked out for me. No regrets. No regrets.
Yep, give a little to get a little. That's a very valid statement. I'm kind of going to end it there because the rest of the video is them kind of just shooting products. But yeah, so in the end, there's not necessarily wrong with shooting for free. I mean, don't overdo it and burn yourself out. But if you are a beginner, and this is geared more towards the beginners, yes, you can charge out the gate, but your best bet, to be honest, is to start to build a portfolio, shoot your friends, shoot people around, shoot if you're going to become a food or a product photographer. If you're a photographer who has a lot of chef friends, shoot with your friends, offer them photography for free, because it allows you to build a portfolio. It helps you, it helps them. In the future, you don't know what can come of that. One of your chef friends ends up becoming a huge chef in the world, and they bring you along with them to take photos. I mean, it's not always about a quid pro quo when it comes down to offering services or whatever. But again, as a photographer, your goal is to take pictures that look good, is to help businesses grow, and obviously to make money. But in order to build a portfolio, sometimes you have to do things for free. Like don't shun doing things for free here and there. Not all the time, because again, like I said, you will get burnt out. But do not shun doing things for free. It can definitely help. It can drive creativity in yourself, and it's really as simple as that, guys. But yeah, I just kind of want to do a quick reaction to that video. I might do a little bit more of these. I don't know, really. I'm just trying to test out what works, really. But again, make sure you guys like and subscribe. If you like it now, you'll love it later. Peace.